Speed you up. Okay, this tutorial for the next 15 minutes or so is based on Form 1B. Okay, Form 1B is the second half of Form 1. Form 1, when it's learned, as we progress through the grades, we split it in half, Form 1A and Form 1B. We rarely get asked to perform 1B on its own as a single kata. It's normally tacked onto the end of 1A to complete the end of Form 1. So we will go through it and learn it as a separate form, and then our next tutorial on Form 1 we'll do the whole lot in its duration, completion together, okay, 1A and 1B. So in Form 1A, when we finished our last move, we had finished the kick to a T stance, and that's where we finished, okay? We're going to take it from that position. We're going to start with a salutation, and we're going to take it on from there. And we're going to do it nice and slowly, because there's a couple of tricky moves in this in terms of foot position on 2 in particular, and just take your time. Some of it your back is going to be turned to the screen, so listen very carefully to where I'm telling you where to put your feet and hands. Okay, let's take this nice and slow. So Form 1B, we step out, salutation. We're going to go forward, and as we do, we're going to do an inward chop block and come back and chop to the face. So we're going to chop inward, chop block, and chop to the throat. Okay, as we do, the other hand is going to cover off. Instead of a cock in action, it's going to cover off with a palm block just above the knot in our belt to protect against any kicks from the groin. So we're going to block in, blocking a punch, and chop up to the throat. And as always, as we step forward, we're going to V in and out. So from here, we step V in and out, chop, chop. Now we move forward again, we do exactly the same on the other side. V in and out on the right now. Left inward chop, chop, I should say right, left, my apologies. Okay, so let's try that. Now the beauty of Form 1B is everything we do on one side, we do on the other side. So you just learn it on one side and we just duplicate it. Left, right, left, right. So move number 1, step out. V in and out. Right inward chop block, stop in front of your face, chop to the throat. Other hand covering off. V in and out. Chop, chop. Now, we're going to our left. We reset to our T stance. Our right hand comes onto our hip, cocking action. Our left fist closes and it sits on top of it. And as we go out to our left, we go into a bow stance, horse down bow. We do a left outward block and a reverse punch at the same time. Let's come a little closer to the camera for that for you. Okay, we have finished, like so. We come up, T stance, right hand on the hip, left hand sitting upside down on top of it. As we go out to our left, and they come out at the same time. Now, the tricky part here is this block. You try and get it as perfect to a right angle as possible. It's very hard to get it right. Sometimes it's in here, sometimes it's out there. And this other punch goes out with it. Okay, so we're going to try those 3 moves. We've done our salutation. Okay. We step forward, in and out, chop, chop. Now on the left, inward out, chop, chop. We pull back to our T stance, right hand on the hip, left hand on top, both closed. As we spin out to a bow stance to our left, ice, punch. Now, step forward into a T stance again. Our left hand goes onto our hip and our right hand sits on top of it. And we're going to turn around behind and do exactly the same thing, block and punch the opposite side. Out like so. And again, we're in a bow stance. So as we can see, we've got 2 chop blocks and chop to the throat to the front. A block and an outward block and punch to the left, and outward block and punch to the right. So everything both sides. So the first 2 are facing dead forward. The next one we're facing to the left, and the next one we're facing to the right. Let's try those. Okay, from the salutation, we step forward, in and out, chop, chop. And again, chop, chop. Pull back to the T stance, hands get loaded up on the hips. And out we go, ice. Step forward to the T stance, load up the hands, turn around, ice. Okay, now, before we move on, make sure when you're in those bow stances, with one of them, we've come this side, that we're not too narrow falling over, and when we come back to the other side, we get a nice wide stance. The next move is where it gets a little bit tricky, okay? Because our foot position's got to move a lot. So let's do those 4 moves once more, and let's take it on from there. Okay, 1, 2, chop, chop. 3, chop, chop. Pull back to the T stance. Load the hands up, out to the left. Step forward to the T stance. Load the hands up, out to the right. Now, from here, your left leg is behind. It's going to have to spin all the way around. That if I draw a line out from that leg there, it's going to end up right around, okay? Now, let's do it slowly. We finished here. I swung around there. We don't swing on the kata, okay? We finished in this position. This leg comes across the twist stance. So we step a straight line from our heels. We draw a line from this heel to this heel and straight across. I want to land on that line. So I step and I twist. And as you can see, I end in a diagonal horse stance. It's tricky, okay? Let's try that again. We finish like so. Like the leg that's back, your left leg comes all the way around behind your right, as far as it can go, and you twist your hips and sit down in a horse stance. Your feet should be diagonal, your body faces straight down. Okay? And from here, our hand movement, we tense our muscles as tense as we can, and what we're doing is we're drawing an imaginary line down the body of where we would strike. The eyes, the nose, chin, solar plexus, groin. And as we do, we draw a mid-finger weapon. That knuckle comes out like so. Okay? And we pull down. As that hand goes down, the right hand goes down, the left hand comes up in a very, very slow upward strike. And again, that also has the mid-finger weapon out. So the movement close to the camera is this. Down and up. Okay? Down and up. Just squeezing those muscles tight. Okay? This is the most difficult move in 1B. Okay, let's try it. Let's go from salutation, step forward, in and out, chop, chop. In and out, left, chop, chop. Pull back to the T stance, load the hands up, right on the hip, left on top of it. Out to the left, wide bow stance, block and punch. Good, step forward to the T stance. Load the hands up, left on the bottom, right on top. Turn, block and punch. Now this back leg has got to spin all the way as far as you can and twist. And from there, bring the right hand down, left hand up. Now from here, our right leg pulls in to the left, to the T stance. And we're going to turn and face back the way we started. We're going diagonally out this way. Diagonal, okay? So it's like a V. We've been here, we step in, and we step back out. And this time, our left hand comes down, and our right hand goes up. Like so, okay? Let's try those moves a few times, because it can be tricky. Now, it's harder here watching this on a screen, because you're turning opposite ways to what's going on the screen. So listen closely as much as you can to the instructions. Break it down slowly, slowly. Pause the video if you have to. Come back to it, take the moves. Okay? If you have all this together, then go to our video tutorials on YouTube on Form 1 and go through it slowly, all of Form 1. But take your time. Those last 2 moves are the moves that normally go wrong for people in terms of foot position, and it sets them up slightly wrong for where they should be going on the kata. But take your time on it. It's a trick. It's probably one of the trickiest kata moves you'll learn. in the next, in between form 1 and form 3. So let's go again. Step out, step forward on the right, chop, chop. In out on the left, chop, chop. We pull back to the T stance, right hand on the bottom, left on top, left foot goes out, block and punch. Step forward to the T stance, left hand on the bottom, right hand on top. We turn, block and punch. Our left foot is behind, it's got to spin all the way around. Okay, and twist. Right hand coming down, left hand coming up, both middle finger knuckles sticking out, tension. Now our right foot steps to our left foot, and then the right foot goes off out behind my right shoulder, and left hand comes down, right hand goes up. Okay, let's try that once more, and then we're going to take it on there from there to the finish. Ready? From the salutation, step forward, chop, chop. Lean on the left, chop, block, chop. T-stance, load up the hands out to the left, block and punch. Step forward to the T-stance, load up the hands, block and punch. Big twist. As we turn, right hand coming down, left hand drawing up. Tension. Right foot steps to the left, and then it goes off out behind your right shoulder. Left hand coming down, right hand coming up. Good. Now, take your time with that. Get that right before you move on. Pause this video and go through that over and over and over. The next 2 moves, you just got to imagine, if you take the center line of your back, your spine, each time behind that spine is where your attacker is going to be on the next 2 moves. Okay? That's where your line of attack is going to be. You're being attacked from behind. So, excuse me. We finished like so. So the attacker is right behind me here. I've come down, left, up with the right. I step forward into a T-stance. And now I turn to where that line was. And as I step out, I downward block. He's coming with a kick. Downward block with my left hand. Okay. My right foot steps over the wall. Plant T-stance. As I twist my hips, we're going to twist into a palm shot. Okay. We got that? I'll do it close to the camera. We finished like so. Come over this way. There's my spine. That's my attack line. I step forward, cock in action, both hands. As I step off, horse stance, block down. This foot steps over, twist stance as I turn my hips. Okay, remember on that twist stance, feet, it steps over and twist. Okay, as I said, form 1B. It's very important with your foot movement. So let's go with that again. From here, left down, right up. Step forward to the T-stance. Remember where my spine was behind me, block down. Step over. And we're opening to a palm shot that drives through, ice to the head. Okay, now, we said the spine. So he's behind my spine again over that way. I do exactly the same. Step back to the T-stance. Turn to look out where my spine was. Step out, downward block. As I step through, twist stance again, turn, palm shot. Okay, let's try those 2 moves, then we do the final 2, and we'll put it all together. And this one, you take your time with. Get it right, because when it's put together nicely with Form 1A, it's a beautiful form. Everyone flies through Form 1A, but because the foot position becomes a little bit difficult and important in this one, is where sometimes it goes a little bit astray. So take your time with this. So we finish this move here. Right foot forward, left is back in a horse stance, facing shoulders up the room. Left hand drawing down, right hand drawing up in tension. Middle finger knuckles pointing out. Now he's behind my back. Think of the center line your back, that's where they are. Step forward to the T-stance, turn, block down, horse stance, step over, twist stance, and twist palm shot. And when you palm, pull back in slightly. Now he's behind my spine again. I pull back, look over my shoulder, block down. Step over the wall, twist, from there. Okay? Let's put all those moves together, and we've only got 2 more to finish with. From here, step slightly left here so don't go off camera. Salutation. We step in, in and out, chop, and chop to the face. Second one, in we go on the left, chop, chop to the face. Reset, out to the left. Step forward into the T stance. Chamber the hands, out to the right. Okay, step right around, twist around, pulling down, tension on the right and left, pulling down to the right, up on the left. Step your right foot into your left foot. Go back out over your right shoulder. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. Now he's behind our spine. Step forward to the T stance, look over our shoulder, block down. I'm going to hop this way maybe because I'm off camera. Step through and palm shot. He's behind my spine again. Step back, T stance, chamber your hands, block down, step over, T stance, or twist stance, palm shot. Our final 2 moves are going back to the finish. So we have finished, step over like so. So the guy's coming from the front. So we just reset. We pull back to the T stance, both hands come on the hips. And as we punch out, we're going to go outward block with a half fist and a punch with a half fist. So we're blocking, so we reach chamber here, back in, and we punch out. And back to horse. We step forward, same opposite side. And back. And finish. Now those last 2 moves. So we've stepped over, twist stance, you face the same way as me, 45 horse up the room. We just finished with a palm shot on your left hand. Pull back with your right to T stance, both hand comes back. Going out, upward block and punch. My apologies, give you out the last one. Upward block. Upward and back. Both on half fist, step in and out. Upward, punch and back and finish. Putting your arm with an outward block, upward block. And as we do, that comes up above the head, and that one's put shot, and we go from horse to bow and back to horse. Okay, let's take that all the way through from start to finish twice, and we leave you guys with that. It's a long one in terms of how technical it is, but take your time. It's very important to get the foot position correct on this, particularly on the turns, the spins, and the tacks on the line of the spine. You get your lines incorrect on those, particularly with your twist stances, you throw your foot position off for the finishing moves. Let's try it twice, okay? Let me step it out. 1, 2, in and out, chop on the right, chop to the face. 3, step on the left, chop to the left, chop to the face. 4, T stance coming back, chambered punches, out we go, block and punch. 5, T stance going forward, chamber the punches, out we go. 6, big step around, sit down, tension, draw down and up. 7, right foot comes into the left, T stance, and we go out over our right shoulder. Diagonal, left hand coming down, right hand going up. Now behind our spine, I should have followed this, don't disappear off camera. Step up, block down, step over, a straight line over that wall. Twist, palm shot. He's behind my spine again. Step back, over my right shoulder, block down. Step through, twist stance, palm shot. Pull back to the T stance, chamber the punches, half fist, upward block and punch. Upward block, punch to the throat, back in. We step forward, upward block, punch to the throat, back in, and finish. One last time. I'm not going to call the moves on this, I'm just going to call the count. See if you guys can get it. Okay? You ready? tension. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And 12. And that, guys, is Form 1B from our Kata. Take your time with it, over and over and over. It's probably one of the trickiest in terms of foot position. Have fun.